Hello, everybody. Kelvin here, and
Hi.
Crease. I almost gave it away. I didn't want to spoil the surprise.
Unless it was a special guest.
Oh, well, but it isn't. It's you.
It's not. It's me.
It's you.
I'm
it's
still the only person you can.
It's my usual co-host, so not quite a special guest, but you're special to me in your own way. So, how does this begin? Oh, that was nauseating. How does this begin? Well, it begins with an explanation. It begins with an explanation of how this show works. Crease has a list of topics, news stories, hypothetical questions that he has put together over the last week, and basically he has to hold my interest and indeed your interest for the duration of this show with those topics. But as soon as I grow tired with any one of them, I ring my bell and we move on to the next subject on his list. So, Crease, number one, numero uno, topic number one.
Right, the first topic is international news.
International news.
Could you play the sting? I'm going to give you the headline first, and then I'll go into a bit of exposition as to what's gone on. Man arrested for eating love rival's heart.
Right, okay.
South African police have arrested a man they found using a knife and fork to eat the heart of his ex-girlfriend's new lover.
At least he had good table manners.
Absolutely, etiquette. It? You know what I mean? I imagine he had a napkin tucked into his
out in front of him. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Maybe a candle, a rose. So basically, my question that got me thinking. I mean, would you eat human flesh? Well, first of all,
that's why
I'll ask two questions. I'll ask two questions. Would you knowingly eat human flesh, just a tiny bit of it, to see what it tasted like?
I wouldn't unknowingly do it. I never eat any meat unless I've checked it's got trotters. If I saw fingers, I'd go, no, something's off. No cow I've ever seen has ever had fingers. If it doesn't have trotters or hooves, I don't eat it.
You ever eat chicken?
Feathers, okay.
Feathers,
okay.
Scales?
Fins are all right. I check for all of these things before I eat anything.
Sure.
Anyway, go on.
Yeah, I was just wondering, I mean, obviously, how would you feel? I mean, let's say you unwittingly had consumed human meat. Let's say you ate a bit of reformed ham, and it was 97% pig and 3% human.
Genuinely, I think I might be all right with that.
It's a small bit. You'd be all right.
A small bit. I'm not saying I would want to eat an eye.
No.
Or like you know,
a hand.
A hand. I don't know if I'd want to
you
eat.
You got to pick between the.
I don't want to eat knuckle or anything like that.
No.
But I think
knuckles
maybe,
are tough, aren't they?
Yeah. I think there might be something in eating. I don't know. What's a nice bit of a person?
Which do you think would taste best? What's the thing which part would you think would taste best?
What is?
I think buttock would taste. Buttock's got a nice consistency.
It's fatty.
It's not though. It's muscly.
Well, what's better?
Your bottom might be a bit fatty. But
I mean, actually, in an animal, what is that? You don't want to eat muscle in
an
animal, do you? You want to eat fat.
I mean, chicken, you eat breasts. In beef, you eat almost all parts of it.
Yes, but the point is that the best meat taste is the
succulent,
fat meat.
Yeah.
Is meat with fatty, not fatty meat, but you know.
I know what you mean. Meat that's tender and unused.
Not muscle.
So you need to find a bit that was unused.
Yeah.
What do you? I'm going to ask which muscle you use least, but I don't know if I want to know the answer to that.
Is it wrong? I think perhaps buttocks would probably be.
Do you know what would taste lovely? Earlobe.
No, it's too small. You want a good buttock.
No, but you say that, but it would be like a little. Very, you know, like you get those. They're actually. I've forgotten what they're called. There's the oysters on
the oysters.
Chicken.
Yes, isn't that the back? The
tender little
the tender meat of the back. That would be quite
oysters,
nice.
Yeah, that's true. The small of your back.
Could. I bet that's really nice as well. I'm not even being funny. I genuinely think that the small of a person's back, just above the buttocks, is probably really succulent, full of flavour.
I mean, I think cheek would be quite.
I was just thinking cheek.
Look, I mean, you peel it.
Again,
I reckon if you could peel it off the skeleton, you know what I mean. If you cooked it, if you severed the head, cooked the head.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to see it on the head. I wouldn't want that. I would draw the line
off,
there.
and it would be that.
But if I was just served a cheek. I didn't get to see them taking it off the bone or any of that. I didn't see a skull with its cheeks missing.
Yeah.
So long as all I'm doing is I'm presented with a plate with a couple of plump cheeks.
Yeah.
That I can maybe even just pick up with my fingers and just chew.
Look, when you get a chicken and you tear all the bits off and you put it in a bowl and then you just eat the succulent bits.
The skin will be all crispy.
Oh.
I bet that's quite
skin?
Nice. Yeah, because skin's crispy on animals,
skin would be lovely.
Crispy
human skin would be quite nice.
I don't know. Would it be? I guess so. It probably is like chicken or whatever.
It probably would, yeah.
Yeah.
one of my questions was going to be, who would you choose? How would you choose them?
Well, again, I don't know. I'm going to be pragmatic about it. I feel guilty.
I think they'd have to be young. Not a child young, but I think they'd have to be young.
Because children, though, I don't know. What is the best meat on an animal?
So you'd eat veal?
No, I wouldn't eat veal.
I
wouldn't eat veal. But I mean, so long as a child was killed humanely, if it was the best possible quality meat and no, it wasn't killed. I don't know. No, sorry. Just to be clear, I wouldn't eat a child that had been killed.
To order. You wouldn't go in and choose the child.
I wouldn't pick a child from
like you do in the Lobster.
No.
You wouldn't go in and say that one.
I wouldn't point at like a little child and say, "Oh, that one looks like he's got a nice, he's got a fat back. I'll have that one." No, I would have a. So long as the child died of natural causes. So long as it.
Would you want to eat a sickly child? We don't eat animals that die of natural causes.
No,
we eat animals.
All right, let's say he was hit by a bus. If a child had died,
tenderised, I suppose.
He'd been hit by a bus,
right?
And God forbid that should happen, Crease. But if it had already happened, there was nothing they could do,
but
and
fresh.
They said, in our culture, it is acceptable to eat the dead. He would want you to eat him. Oh, maybe I would.
Okay.
Maybe not. It's maybe not because I maybe feel like the child didn't get a say in it. That's the problem. Is you start getting to the category of like.
What if the last thing he said? What if he looked up at you?
What if he
looked up at you and he looked you in the eye just as the bus is bearing down on him, and he looked you square in the eye, and he mouthed the words. You're convinced he mouthed the words, "Eat me."
He said, "Eat me."
And that's what you think he said that. He's mouthed it.
Mouthed
"Eat me." Bang.
Right.
Bus hits him.
So he's basically giving me tacit.
He's insisting. He looks at you with pleading eyes.
He's insisting that I eat him when death comes.
Me. But also, it could have been help me. You only saw it mouthed.
I'm tempted to say that I don't think I would eat a child, and I'll tell you why. It's purely because it's
not
that
ethics.
I have a problem.
You got a moral code.
It's not that I think the meat would be unacceptable to eat. It'd probably be quite nice, but I would feel dubious because even if it was part of a culture that you could eat meat of another person, I would think, well, they didn't actually get a child does not have the capacity for choice in that sense.
Or agree to be eaten.
Consent
to agree. So like a donor card, you'd have to carry one round with you.
That's right.
In your wallet.
That's what happens. You have a donor card. That's a brilliant plan. So yeah, children are out, people who haven't given permission are out, people who have been killed are out, but if you've died of natural causes
and you wish to be eaten,
and you are old enough to give consent, yeah, fine, I would eat you.
You'd eat me?
I'd eat you if you gave permission. No, I don't think I would.
Would you eat me? Would you eat your friends?
I wouldn't eat friends.
You have to eat somebody you didn't know. I wouldn't eat
friends, but then maybe that would be part of the culture. Maybe it would be the idea would be that you do eat your family members and your loved ones and your friends and all this because that's you take them into yourself.
All right, so you eat some meat. Right,
Yeah.
okay, you eat some human meat, right, and you're expecting it to taste sort of, not great, maybe a bit like sort of like a poor beef or something like that, okay? You put it in your mouth, you take that first bite, right, and it is delicious. It is moist. It's like duck. It's like crispy duck.
Oh, I love duck.
Right,
yeah.
I know, it's like crispy duck.
Okay.
And hoisin sauce mixed in.
Oh my goodness.
So as you bite in, it's like the hoisin sauce oozes out of the human flesh. And you are like...
absolutely unparalleled. There's no meat better.
There's no meat like it.
God, that would be awful. What about if you start thinking about...
Tesco's?
What if you start looking at people and thinking, I'd like to eat that person?
Yeah. But then you get on dodgy territory. What if it gets so popular, they start opening up human flesh restaurants?
Yeah, and people feel obliged to take out donor cards because they're getting paid. Their family gets a lot of money. Maybe if it will help my family out, maybe I'll do it. Elderly people going in not against their will, but kind of they don't really want to do it, but they think, I don't want to be a burden. I don't want to be a burden. I can help my family out. I want to be a... I don't want to be a burden. I want to be a burger. Exactly.
Perfect.
That's it. That's exactly right.
What if about they start having battery farms of humans where there's just humans shoulder to shoulder, humans covered in their own feces,
and they all have to sign things. People, these terrible businessmen make them sign things, waivers saying that they're happy with their conditions.
Oh yeah, of course they are.
And then of course Jamie Oliver does a whole campaign. It's wrong for them to die of naturals because then we'd end up having to you start questioning, how did this person really die? Was it really natural causes? I mean, isn't it a bit strange that 30 people were hit by one bus? Isn't that a bit peculiar?
People could start causing accidents.
Yeah.
Major massacres.
Major accidents. And people, as soon as there's a car accident, people immediately jump out of the car.
Like roadkill. They can run and grab them.
They're dragging the bodies out of the cars.
I'm not quite dead. I'm not quite...
No, bang! Smack!
Yeah.
Drags them back into the car. Don't worry, we'll have him later. We're like, oh, that'll be gorgeous for your birthday on Wednesday. Oh, lovely.
Oh, that's
and they're running over to the cars and piling bodies into their car. They've got 9 dead bodies in the back of the car.
What about if a meat delivery van pulled up outside your house to deliver it? And you opened up and there was like, there's dead pig carcasses hanging up.
Yeah.
It was that. And there were just 19 other humans all hung up by their feet.
Morning, hello. They're still alive and they say, which one do you want, mate? Oh, pick me. Oh, don't worry. No, don't have her. Have me.
And they're all giving you free supper. They're all tearing flesh off them.
They're all tearing their flesh, throwing it in your face. Eat me. Make my life worthwhile. Give me some fucking meaning.
For the record, I rang the bell.
Next topic.
Well, this is something that has inspired me. This was a leaflet that was dropped through my door recently. It is the Audley Edge Festival Hall Mind, Body and Spirit event.
In case you want to go.
Obviously, the title had me intrigued.
Yes.
So I've looked at some of the people that will be appearing. There's pictures. There's about, how many? 20 people, probably 20 little people. Little passport-sized pictures of all the people that are attending.
Right. And
it gives a very brief description of what they do and sort of when they'll be appearing and stuff.
I remember.
So at the Macclesfield Mind, Body and Spirit event this year, there will be a lady called Carol. Mm-hmm. Now, Carol is a tarot master.
Blimey.
Not just a tarot reader.
No.
She is a tarot master.
Right, okay.
I mean, what...
So she has reached a level of power previously unseen in her kind.
As far as I understand it, she becomes like... are you familiar with Gambit from the X-Men?
Exactly what I was thinking!
Yeah.
She's like Gambit! She picks up the card and it goes... Zzz, and charges up the card and she throws it down and it goes... Psh, bursts into flame and a huge demon bursts out. And she goes, "No, Commander, tell me now, tell me, beast, what is it you see in the future of this girl? Do not be afraid, child, do not be afraid, do not look at the beast, but do not fear him either, for I am the master of Tarot, and you will obey me, beast. Tell me, when will she meet a nice man? When will she meet a nice man? Oh, beast of the pit! So just so we're clear, she should go for the promotion. She should ask for the pay raise. Insulto Christo and Dominus and Patri Dominus. Yeah. Be gone, foul beast! Be gone back into the darkness! Okay, so that'll be £2.50, please. So, yeah. She's a tarot master.
She's a tarot master.
Yeah. All the other tarots, they're all kind of looking a bit embarrassed.
Yeah.
Looking around going, I know that looks impressive, but actually a lot of what she said is inaccurate.
Yeah. There we go. So that's what a tarot master is. Thank you, because I wasn't sure what a tarot master is. I've got a couple more. I've got Geraint, or Geraint, I'm not sure how you pronounce that. Geraint, and he is from Fairyland Aromatics.
Right, okay.
Now, I like the idea that basically Fairyland Aromatics gives a lovely idea of all these beautiful smells, but they only get them because they snare fairies, and then using a pestle and mortar grind them into dust.
They squeeze them down, crush them, they wring them out. There's a whole line of people, like a production line of people at Fairyland Aromatics, who the first one snaps the neck of the other little pixie, grinds it down, mortal and pestle, grinds it down. The next one twists it, breaks all the bones, snaps into little crushes, squeeze out the last drops of it. Then they throw the remains in a cup, burn it, and use the ashes, mix that in. And that's what it is. That's the truth. But he sticks a little label on it with a little pixie hugging an apple and goes, "Oh, this is apple and fairy smell. This is."
You pick up the bottle and you're like, "That's beautiful. What's that? Is that a tiny set of kidneys?" No,
absolutely
not. It's a pip.
It's a pip. sparkle of the raspberry pips as plucked by one of my delicious fairies. I mean fairies. Yes. Okay,
excellent, lovely, thank you. I just want to read the disclaimer, which is in very small print at the bottom. It says, disclaimer. Psychic and predictive type readings are open to personal interpretation and may be only for entertainment value. Guidance is not proven to be predictive. Psychic medium type consultations are experiments with no guarantee of results. Any information drawn from the reading should not be considered as legal, medical, psychological, business or financial fact.
Oh, for goodness sake! Well, what's the bloody point then? That's basically that is almost a tacit admission that they're making it all up.
Of course it is.
At least they're honest. People in the chat room have suggested topics then. We asked earlier for some topics, and there are some topics coming up now, including yoghurt. I think yoghurt's disgusting. I think it's absolutely...
That's a very controversial opinion.
Is that really controversial?
I can't think of anyone else who so vehemently hates yoghurt. It's disgusting.
I think it is disgusting.
Like cottage cheese, disgusting.
Are you genuinely thinking that's a controversial opinion? What, more controversial than, like...
No, I agree.
Not as controversial as that,
in the grand scheme of yeah, no, I'm not saying that there's... I'm saying
more or less controversial than that.
It's less controversial than that, but I would say it's more controversial than saying I don't like ham.
More controversial than that?
I find ham disgusting.
No, that's way more controversial than yoghurt. You think that saying I
think
don't like ham
yogurts.
is
Kids
more
like yogurts.
is less controversial?
Kids like yogurts. Kids don't like ham unless it's made into the shape of a bear.
Are you mad? You think that the statement "I don't like ham" is less controversial than "I don't like yogurt"?
No. We were on is disgusting. Yogurt is disgusting. Were your words?
It is disgusting.
No. I think that more kids will be fussy about ham than they'll be fussy about yogurts.
It's like, it tastes like sick.
Unless you're talking about yogurts with fruit in it. I think more kids will hate those.
So what's the next thing? If you could put every single thing in the entire universe into a list of most controversial to least controversial.
Foods.
Things to say.
Things to say.
Things to say. Most controversial thing to say to least controversial thing to say.
Okay.
Where is yogurt, and what is the next less controversial
I understand
thing, and the next most controversial
thing?
Okay,
so on a scale of I really want to cut open that child, being the most controversial thing to say, which by the way you have said earlier on, and on the other end of the scale, biscuits, yeah, being a least controversial statement, right? I would think that like yogurts come on a scale much nearer biscuits. Yeah.
Okay.
But I would say on one side of it is what's on the side. That's a good question. Yogurts are disgusting is a very strong statement. So I'm going to go.
Really, you think it's that strong?
Disgusting is
more or less controversial.
I think mushrooms. I think more people find.
I'm going to say things. I'm going to say things.
And
you're going to tell me whether the statement yogurts are disgusting is more or less controversial.
Okay, yeah.
Okay. Ovens are unnecessary.
No, I don't know. That's ovens are unnecessary. That's more controversial.
More controversial than yogurt being disgusting.
Than yogurt being disgusting. Yeah, ovens are unnecessary is a more controversial statement. Ovens are a necessity.
Hitler must have had at least one good idea.
That's not a controversial statement in the slightest.
Not controversial.
No.
Okay, I'm not saying it is. I'm just telling you. I'm just saying.
I said it's only just after biscuits.
Okay, so basically, as it currently stands, you think that Hitler having some good ideas is less controversial than yogurts being disgusting.
Because yogurts are disgusting is a blanket statement first of all, and there's venom in that. It's not I don't like yogurts. I find yogurts unpleasant.
Yeah.
Yogurts are disgusting.
They are.
That's like saying paedophiles are disgusting. Paedophiles are disgusting. Which is a popular opinion.
It's not equivalent to that at all.
No, I'm not saying it's equivalent. I'm saying that but you're adding the same level of sort of anger and aggression to it.
Maybe I am.
Oh, disgusting.
It's disgusting. It's absolutely disgusting.
They make me physically sick. Do they?
Yeah,
or is it just that you don't like them?
But a food can make you physically sick.
It can, but not yogurt.
Some old mouldy meat.
No,
if I said
because it's old mouldy meat.
Yeah, you're talking about
something that is world renowned for being something that that line your stomach. They're very mild. They're not particularly strongly flavoured. They're quite cool, quite pleasant, quite refreshing
on the palate.
Whereas if you're saying, if I gave you a piece of haggard, rotting meat with maggots squirming all over it, and opened a fresh yoghurt in front of you, and I went, which one of these is disgusting? Are you telling me you point at both of them?
No, I say both of them.
No, you wouldn't.
I might choose to eat the yogurt over the disgusting rotten
what
dog,
would you choose?
but I would still say
I'm
only doing this under duress. I'm only doing this because I had to.
I am giving you a list of things that you want to tell me whether they're more or less disgusting than yogurt.
Fine.
Okay, paedophiles.
Yogurt is potentially more disgusting than a paedophile because a paedophile can possibly be explained by psychological. Whereas
a yogurt's responsible for its own.
Well, no, but
the
it's still,
sentient yogurt is completely.
That doesn't take away from the fact that a yogurt is downright disgusting, whereas a paedophile his actions are appalling.
Okay,
but arguably, I don't know the psychology of paedophilia, but presumably there is a psychological issue there.
It was a poor argument by me.
So yogurt's more disgusting than paedophiles. Yes.
Right. Incest.
Depends on the quality of the partner. If you had a very unattractive brother or sister and you found them sexually exciting, that would be more disgusting than yogurt. But if you had a very, very attractive brother or sister and you found something about them slightly alluring,
sure,
I think that would be less disgusting than yogurt.
So just so we're clear, if I put a very attractive sister of yours in front of you, in lingerie, and I put a yogurt and opened it up, and went, choose.
I would choose to have sex with my attractive sister rather than eat a yogurt. Rather than eat a yogurt.
I'm prepared to admit you do feel that was a qualified answer. You find yogurts disgusting.
I'm being sincere. I find them repulsive. They are bitter. They are often lumpy. They are just. They are repulsive. They are absolutely repulsive. I'm sorry.
Okay, that's fair enough.
Thought we did quite a lot on that. Surprisingly, amazing we managed to get that out of yogurt. Okay, these are good ones now. Right, okay, so we've got Jess has suggested Crocs and how wrong they are. What are Crocs?
Crocs are those little shoes with holes in.
Oh, they're hideous things, those.
They are.
The feet are a hideous part of the human body, unless you're a pervert. And I would argue that anything which reveals more of the foot than is absolutely necessary is in itself proof of possible perversion.
What, walking around barefoot is...
Walking around barefoot in public. If you're doing it in private, it's perhaps more comfortable, acceptable. But if you do it in public and you're showing your feet off, the only people that like feet are perverts...
Yes.
Twisted, sick perverts.
And podiatricians.
And paediatricians.
Pediatricians are kids. Podiatrists, that's the word I'm looking for.
Podiatrists. Podiaphiles.
Pedophiles.
No, that's different. That's a different thing. That's an American person that fucks kids.
Which is less disgusting than yogurt.
Yes. Yeah. So holes in shoes, anything that shows off any of your foot. I mean, you should wear socks. Everything, even sandals should be worn with socks. I'm absolutely. You shouldn't wear sandals. My position is you should never wear sandals. Sandals reveal too much of the foot. Sign of evidence.
The Romans
evidence
might disagree
of perversion.
with you.
And listen, they were the biggest perverts of the lot.
That's true, actually.
Absolutely ludicrous amount of perversion.
They liked yogurt as well.
They were always having sex with prostitutes and each other and emperors and bears. Right, that's us done then. So thank you very much for listening. Thanks to Crease. Thank you to you for listening, as I say. And if you've enjoyed this show, then by all means follow us on all the various social media places. Twitter, we're on YouTube and Facebook. All of those with Radioface Comedy. So Radioface Comedy on Twitter, YouTube, and Facebook. And that's pretty much it. So thanks again for listening. And until next time, bye-bye.
Bye.